A cold bullet tears through the chest of a cowboy as he sits at a poker table, his blood spilling onto his cards before he can even reach for his gun. This is the real American frontier, a place of extreme violence where the line between myth and reality has been blurred by over a century of tall tales. In this video, we count down the 10 deadliest gunslingers of the Wild West. But which of these legendary figures was actually a professional assassin who wore steel armor under his black coat to survive his battles? The answer to this mystery will be revealed as we build to the most dangerous killer of all. Number 10. John Henry Holliday. A dying man coughed blood into his handkerchief, then calmly pointed a shotgun and blasted a hole through his opponent. John Henry Holliday was born in Georgia in 1851. He studied dentistry but moved west to seek a dry climate when tuberculosis began to destroy his lungs. Legends claimed this sick dentist won over 30 duels to the death and killed 16 men. The historical record reveals a shocking truth, as researchers can only verify 2 deaths from his gun. This massive gap exists because Holliday used his terrifying reputation as a shield, knowing that fear would prevent enemies from drawing their weapons. He was deadly because he had absolutely no fear of death, believing that disease would claim him anyway. He preferred a heavy shotgun hidden under his long coat. He died quietly in a Colorado hotel bed in 1887. His peaceful death was rare, but the next gambler used his guns to shoot an extortionist 5 times before the man could draw. Number 9. Luke Short. Luke Short was a small cowboy who traveled from Texas to the Kansas railheads. He eventually became a professional faro dealer, operating in violent mining camps. Rumors and tall tales claimed that Short killed 6 warriors during his early scouting days and dozens of men in saloons. The real count is far smaller, with only 2 verified kills in his entire life. This gap exists because his close friend, the famous lawman Bat Masterson, wrote sensational newspaper articles to build the legend of the deadly dandy. Short was deadly because of his lightning speed and calm. He carried a .45 caliber revolver inside his pocket for a fast surprise draw. He died from a lung disease in 1893. Escaping a violent end. But the next wild cattleman was a maniac who once placed the severed head of his enemy on a pole and danced around it inside a crowded saloon. Number 8. Clay Allison. Clay Allison was born in Tennessee in 1841. He served in the Confederate cavalry before starting a cattle ranch in the wild territory of New Mexico. Allison claimed to have killed 15 men during his violent fits of rage. Historical records can only verify 6 deaths directly caused by his gun. This gap grew because his extreme mental instability and sudden violent outbursts made local citizens blame him for every mysterious death in the county. He was deadly because of his chaotic psychology, once dragging a dead body behind his horse. He possessed a terrifying quick draw that was improved through constant target practice. In 1887, he fell from his supply wagon and was fatally crushed when the rear wheel rolled over his neck. He died under a heavy wagon wheel, but the next violent train robber had to scramble behind a boulder to dodge bullets. Number 7. Harvey Logan. Harvey Logan was born in Iowa in 1867. He worked as a cowboy breaking horses before joining the famous Wild Bunch gang alongside Butch Cassidy. Legendary accounts claimed that Logan killed over 30 men during his life of crime. Modern historical research reveals that he was responsible for 9 verified kills. This gap exists because detective agencies blamed him for every death that occurred during gang bank robberies, creating a monster to justify their expensive hunt. He was deadly because of his explosive temper and absolute hatred of law enforcement. He carried a heavy Colt .45 revolver and always fired first when cornered. In 1904, he ended his own life behind a rock after being cornered and wounded by a posse in Colorado. He took his own life, But the next giant lawman would soon whirl on his heels and empty his twin guns. Number 6. Dallas Stoudenmire. A giant marshal whirled on his heels and emptied his revolvers, killing 3 men in less than 5 seconds on a dusty street. Dallas Stoudenmire was born in Alabama in 1845. He served in the Confederate Army and the Texas Rangers before taking a job as the marshal of lawless El Paso. Rumors claimed that this giant lawman killed over 20 men during his career. Official records can only verify 10 deaths directly caused by his bullets. This gap was created by national newspapers that wanted to turn the marshal into an invincible symbol of Western justice to attract investors to the territory. Stoudenmire was deadly because he carried 2 guns and was equally accurate with either hand. He possessed a violent temper that became uncontrollable when he drank whiskey. In 1882, he was shot behind the left ear during a meeting with his bitter enemies. He fell on a bloody saloon floor, but the next gang leader was a fashionable bandit who wore exotic tiger-skin chaps. Number 5. John King Fisher. This ruthless gang leader smiled and told a reporter that his gun had 37 notches, not counting certain border victims. John King Fisher was born in Texas in 1853. He spent his youth stealing horses before leading a large band of outlaws along the violent Mexican border. Fisher boasted of 37 kills, but historical records can only verify 10 deaths. This massive gap exists because he operated in the lawless Nueces Strip, a remote border region where many violent deaths went completely unrecorded by authorities. He was deadly because of his absolute ruthlessness and quick draw, once killing 3 of his own gang members to secure his leadership. He believed in shooting first to eliminate any possible witnesses. In 1884, he was ambushed at a San Antonio variety theater and shot 13 times. He was filled with lead at a variety theater, but the next teenage boy beat his guard to death with his iron wrist chains, grabbed a loaded shotgun, and killed a deputy from a courthouse window to escape his death sentence. Number 4. William H. Bonney. A William H. Bonney was born in New York in 1859. He moved west as a child and entered a life of cattle rustling after his mother died. Popular culture claims that the kid killed 21 men, 1 for each year of his life. Official records prove he was only responsible for 9 confirmed kills. This gap grew because of his own boastful claims published in frontier newspapers, which loved to sell sensational stories of teenage outlaws. He was deadly because of his incredible speed and his ability to adapt during a chaotic fight. He was accurate with a Winchester rifle. In 1881, he was shot in a dark room by Pat Garrett. This dark room became his tomb, but the next legendary hero of the plains once killed his opponent with a single bullet from 75 yards away. Number 3. James Butler Hickok. James Butler Hickok worked as a Union scout and a frontier marshal, earning national fame as a legendary lawman. Hickok claimed that he had killed over 100 men during his personal encounters. His foremost biographer determined that only 7 of his shootouts actually resulted in deaths. This massive gap exists because journalists fabricated wild stories to turn him into a national hero, boosting the sales of their cheap dime novels. He was deadly because of his supreme marksmanship and his absolute calm under intense pressure. He carried twin Navy revolvers in a cross-draw style. In 1876, he was shot in the back of the head while playing poker. Number 2. James Brown Miller. Then we have a cold professional assassin dressed in a dark frock coat walked up to his targets and blew them away with a shotgun for a fee of $150. James Brown Miller was born in Arkansas in 1861. He worked as a deputy sheriff and town marshal, hiding his bloody crimes behind a respectable image. Miller claimed that he had killed 51 men during his life of crime. Official records can only verify 12 murders directly linked to his shotgun. This gap exists because he was a silent professional who used ambush tactics and killed any witnesses to protect his highly profitable business. He was deadly because of his business-like approach to murder and his secret defense. He wore a heavy steel breastplate under his coat to stop bullets, saving his life in multiple gun battles. In 1909, he was lynched by an angry mob inside a stable. He swung from a beam, but the absolute deadliest killer was a boy who began his career at 15. Number 1. John Wesley Hardin. He shot a former slave, then murdered 3 soldiers sent to arrest him before he turned 16. John Wesley Hardin was born in Texas in 1853. He chose a dark path of violence during post-Civil War Reconstruction. Hardin claimed 42 kills. Modern research verifies 23 deaths directly caused by his gun. This gap exists because Hardin wrote a highly exaggerated autobiography while serving a long prison sentence, trying to paint himself as a brave protector of Southern honor. He was deadly because of his speed and complete lack of empathy. He even designed a custom vest with built-in holsters to draw his guns faster. In 1895, he was shot in the back of the head by John Selman in an El Paso saloon. He died on a dirty saloon floor, ending the bloody reign of the deadliest gunslinger of the American West. The true history of the American West is not found in the pages of fiction. It is found in the quiet court records and the dusty graves of those who died too young. These 10 gunslingers were not the invincible heroes of popular movies, but real men who lived in a harsh, lawless world. If you want to discover more untold secrets of American history, subscribe to our channel right now. Leave a comment below with the name of the gunslinger who surprised you the most.